Welcome back to the internet-only company without internet. To give a little taste of what's going on, and it happens. The internet went down, and we're fixing it. Which doesn't mean we can't. It doesn't mean that we can't not shoot clips. It just means there might be a slight delay in some of the clips getting to the YouTube. And interestingly, it kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that what is also being slightly delayed is Neymar's what seems like exit to PSG.
Yeah. The reason why I wanted the internet to be working is so that we can check the daily updates as it's going on, because not the daily, sorry, the minute by minute updates, because at the moment no one even knows. I just read a report saying he was going to China for a medical. Barcelona teammates are sick of the PSG rumors because it's upsetting them. Clearly, it's upsetting Neymar. He had that scuffle. So I really don't know, man. I want to save my judgment until I see him in a PSG shirt. And if I did see him, I would say, fantastic signing for PSG. Is he replaceable at Barcelona? Yes, he is. He's still a phenomenal player, but it's not losing Messi. So I think it's the third player you don't want to lose at this moment. I mean, in the long term, yeah, he's going to give you more years than Suarez and Messi because he's younger. But at the moment, the foundation of that team, I still think relies more so on Messi and Suarez. So out of those three, he's probably if you were to do the fuck, marry, kill, I'm probably killing Neymar.
Oh my God. Who are you marrying?
Messi. I don't want to be bit. I'll take the one-time plunge with Suarez and I'll just marry Messi.
Wow. I like the honesty.
He's a biter, as we know.
If you were to technically start by flying east, you can get to China and then get to PSG. It's a little bit closer.
So it's like it's a scenic route.
It's a little bit closer if you go the other way, but that's why the physical's in China. They're like, oh, just drop them off in China first for a physical. Do you think there's anything suspicious going on if there's a physical in China? Nothing against China in itself, but just maybe they don't want. Is there something on? Is there a blemish on his record?
Maybe is PSG there? Are they there on training camp? Maybe they're there. I mean, it's not really essential information. I did find it kind of strange. I was like, why is he going to China for medical? The only reason would be is if they were there on a preseason friendly tour.
Chinese Super League about to sign up for 500
Maybe they could swoop in with bags of cash beforehand. But as for Neymar as a whole, the way he's been handling himself from what I've seen just seems like a spoiled brat. It just seems like he's not happy at the moment. Now, I'm not saying, I don't know the goings on. I don't know if he's unhappy. For me, he played his best football at Barcelona because that's all we've really seen. Before he moved there from playing in Brazil, he was touted as the next big talent. And I actually found it really refreshing after the kind of gap that we had from Ronaldinho and other players moving in, that we had a Brazilian talent that lived up to that potential. Like Robinho never really lived up to that potential coming in, even though he played for Real Madrid and he did have some exciting spells. I think that Neymar was touted to be on the same level as Ronaldo, the original Ronaldinho. So it's good to see him live up to that. And I don't know if PSG is the best move for him to continue that.
There was a video on Facebook that was circulating about don't ever forget Ronaldo and Ronaldinho. And I was kind of watching it because I never grew up with it. I never watched it growing up. Oh my God.
Yeah, those two guys.
I mean, just it's fun to look back on those highlights, and I guess you're making the point that yes, Neymar is the heart and soul of the Brazilian national team right now, and for the next, for 2018's World Cup, 2022's World Cup, and 2026's World Cup, and of course the tournaments in between. In terms of what Javier Tebas said, which is the president of La Liga, he said himself that he'd be more concerned if Ronaldo or Messi were to leave. He said, La Liga and Barcelona are bigger than Neymar. I would be more worried if Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi left. From the business perspective, I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that surprising. He also went out and said that he believes he's going to have to at least send some kind of grievance or complaint. He has vowed to file a complaint against the league inside, regardless how much money they pay for the 25-year-old. He added, even if they don't pay the release clause, we will report him. Report them. They cannot make up some commercial numbers that are bigger than Barcelona or Real Madrid. Nobody believes that, which means that the state of Qatar is injecting money, and that violates financial fair play. Shots fired everywhere. Shots fired at PSG, Liga, Qatar, financial fair play, maybe even at the Premier League in Man City, who spent defense spending on their back four. That was the most concise attack of 5 different groups I've ever seen. It's like 2 sentences.
Sounds like a guy
should be president.
Sounds like a guy that's a little panicked that he might not be able to maintain the stature of La Liga being the magnet to all the biggest stars in the world. Because at the moment they have probably, in my opinion, at least 6 or 7 of the best 10 players in the world all playing in the league at the one point. When you get Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Suarez, if you go on defensive routes, Ramos, Modric, midfield, there's so many good players now. So maybe he's thinking that does these star players now think? Do these star players now think that maybe PSG is a destination they want to go to, because we're seeing PSG be more dominant in the transfer market and they've got a lot of money to spend. If Neymar moves, it will be the biggest transfer, obviously, of the transfer window of probably the past, 3-4 years, just because he's moving from a massive, massive team, a giant in European football, to an aspiring giant.
Yeah, what's the Suarez's move was
massive.
Suarez
Liverpool to Barca, it's expected, it's a step up.
But the result also proved to be massive.
Yeah.
The thing was, like, you knew going into it was a good signing, but we didn't know it was going to make the most devastating front 3 we possibly ever saw, and that was the treble, Barcelona's treble with 2014-15, where they beat Juventus. And then I'm trying to think. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that Gareth Bale made his transfer, but I guess he's another one. I'm trying to think. Pogba was big, but he's not as statistically scary as like a forward would be. I think Aubameyang would be a massive transfer, but he's still.
I'm just thinking
Dortmund,
of these,
I believe.
All those ones that are suggested. Like, my point being, they're moving from a great team to, I think, an inferior team. Right, none of them are like that. That's what this transfer would be. Moving from Barcelona to PSG is moving from a team that just defeated them. Like, PSG basically had a huge lead.
The anti-Durant.
Yeah, so they're moving the opposite direction. Pogba's move from Juventus to Manchester United was a move in the wrong direction, I think, for his career. But I get maybe if he's thinking about the future, Manchester United restructuring. He previously played there, so maybe he was going back to a team that he felt he had unfinished business at. Neymar's move would be strange solely because PSG just once again experienced how much they are behind all of these bigger teams. They had a monumental lead against Barcelona and still just collapsed when they went to the new camp, meaning that I don't think they have the character as a team yet to be able to maintain that challenge, and they need to add some players. Neymar could take them to that level. It maybe would be one of those transfers like, oh, okay, now he's there. Now they're on par with Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. But
what I find so interesting about Ligue 1 is, like, okay, they're going to cake. What's up?
I just threw in the event. I know people would have been screaming there. They're a Champions League finalist, Juventus.
Yeah, Juventus. But we have some theories.
Yeah.
It's like making a murderer season 3.
That's a shocking transfer if you're going to say one. Bonucci to AC Milan.
Again, that was a good transfer though for AC Milan. I guess my point here with Ligue 1 is it's not like Neymar's transfer to Ligue 1 is going to make PSG like, oh, they're going to win Ligue 1 again. No, of course they're going to win Ligue 1. They're not playing for that. They're playing for the Champions League. It's the only sense you can make of a transfer like that. But they couldn't get over the hump with, as you mentioned, a 4 or 5 goal lead.
Yeah.
To which you kept saying the week in between, just like, imagine if they do it. Watch, they might do it. It's gonna be close. At the worst, it's gonna be close. I'm like, you're insane. You're insane. You're insane. You're insane. And then that happened. And then Barcelona fell flat on their face against Juventus, as you're pointing out. But so it's, I don't know. Would PSG come in and be able to beat still Barcelona with Neymar, or Real Madrid, or Bayern Munich, or who am I missing?
Juventus.
AC Milan. Like, I don't know who's going to come out.
Who's going to be able to? I mean, you're safe with those 3 because those are the ones that are all there.
Since the beginning, I thought Neymar should stay at Barcelona because it's not. A little bit of patience goes a long way. I'm not saying he's an extremely impatient person. My point being, though, is when he's 27 years old, the keys are pretty much being turned over to him. Probably Messi's 32, 33 at that point. I think 32. Iniesta's probably out the door. They've already had a send-off. Suarez would be the one I thought would be gone before Neymar. So it will be your club. It could be your club if you want it to be your club. But the fact of the matter, he hasn't said or shown one sign of like supporter loyalty in this period of like a week or two. I'm not saying during their their greatness together. Like him and Messi would post photos together all the time. And if he's wearing his badge everywhere, wears his badge with Odell Beckham Jr. and Lewis Hamilton at the races, like all those things.
You know, but sometimes it could be the opposite side of it, that we don't really know what his ambitions are as a footballer, because he's won a Champions League and La Liga at Barcelona. Yeah, he's only been there a small period of time, but that's because you're comparing him, like a lot of people like to put him right there next to Messi, who's been there for a lifetime.
It's like an unfair comparison.
Maybe he wants to try and challenge himself, like Ronaldo left Barcelona very early in his career, in retrospect to how long he said he was going to stay there.
Original Ronaldo.
Original Ronaldo went to Real Madrid. Luis Figo did the same thing.
That's a ballsy move.
So at least Luis Figo did the same. We didn't. At least it's not, you're moving to Real Madrid, your rivals. So maybe he just wants to try and go and make his name for himself as the sole figure of that team in PSG. He's the bride. He's no longer the bridesmaid to Lionel Messi.
I know. It's there's so many comparisons and similarities between this whole Kyrie Irving and Neymar situation. I find it amazing that they're both happening at the same time.
Yeah.
It just truly is an interesting summer storyline. And don't forget, that's also one thing to keep in the back of your mind. It's summer, which means there's nothing besides like the international, Confederations Cup and the friendlies that go on, which have been really fun in the United States and very successful. I was happy to see El Clasico in Miami.
Huge.
Sold out across the board, fans everywhere. I think it's always great to see that on American soil. But it's summer storylines and summer headlines. The media has to grasp onto something.
They're on life support by transfers, basically. That's what's keeping them
They
ticking.
need something.
So, I don't know. Take it with a pinch of salt, a big pinch of salt, a small bit of salt, a little bit of sea salt.
2 tablespoons.
Yeah, who knows? And we'll see. I mean, you know us. If he moves, then I'm going to be the first one, and Jason will be the first one to say, okay, we doubted it, but it's there. Now we need to decide what PSG are going to look like next season, with Di Maria on one wing, Julian Draxler on the other, and Neymar through the middle.
Watch AC Milan just secretly be like, oh my God, did Barcelona kill a guy too?
Who knows what's going on? Comment below.